Okay guys, here we are. I pulled over driving because I've been thinking a lot lately about this new ZR1X. If you guys don't know, my name's Austin and I've owned quite a lot of Corvettes over the years. I bought the Z06, the C8. I've had 3 C8s now, pretty much every single one. And when you look at this new ZR1, it's a crazy car, absolutely crazy car. I'm one of those people who wanted to get it, and you know, I have been putting in a lot of effort to get it. With the ZR1X coming out, just instantly, like boom, out of nowhere, it's really gotten me thinking. It's got me thinking about whether or not it was smart to unveil it so early, because us buyers were trying to figure out what to do. Because with getting a current 2025 Corvette ZR1, it's kind of, well, an interesting field now. Because the car, as is just insane in every single way. It's the greatest Corvette ever. But next year, there's a better interior. And then when you look at the ZR1X, well, what's going on with that? Geez, it's out. It's already out. Oh my gosh, the Zora basically is out. So that means that you can get a 1,250 horsepower Corvette now over a 1,064 horsepower Corvette. And if you're going to pay $250,000 or however much money these cars are now, why not just get the best? The best is the best, right? Why would you want to get one and think, oh, I've got an outdated car now, or there's a faster one? That's my philosophy behind it. So I have a few thoughts that I'm shocked about, because I didn't think the Zora would be announced this fast, or ZR1X. Real quickly, if you're enjoying this video, I do want to give a quick shout out to Speed Phenom Film, our brand new state-of-the-art paint protection film studio. Yes, we've expanded. We have a track day company, a vehicle customization studio too, on the beach of Carlsbad, California. So if you have any new car coming in, such as a new Corvette ZR1 or anything, and you want clear paint protection film to shield your paint from rock chips on the street, or you want tinting, ceramic coating, or windshield protection film to help stop those rock chips and cracks right in front of you, give us a call at 760-496-8607. We'd love to take care of you with special rates for all Speed Phenom subscribers. The ZR1X is the craziest Corvette ever, right? 1,200 horsepower, 8-second quarter mile, 2 seconds 0 to 60 or less. Wow. But I have a few issues I want to share, and I want to get your thoughts on. Why does it look the same as a ZR1? Why does it look pretty similar to a Z06? I owned the C8 Z06. I'm a Corvette enthusiast. Yet, I kind of struggle with noticing the differences between a Z06, an E-Ray, a ZR1, and a ZR1X. Did you know why? Every single one of them has the same front bumper. It's easier now to distinguish a Stingray versus a Z06, ZR1, E-Ray, and a ZR1X, because that one is limited to one model where the bumper and body kit is the same. With the ZR1X, it's got the same front bumper as my Z06 did. It's got the same front bumper as an E-Ray. It's got the same front bumper as a ZR1. Also, they all have the same intakes, the same rear end, the same standard wing, the same fenders, the same width wheels, the same interior, right? So I'm looking at it going, why didn't they change it a little bit more? When you look at these Porsches, these 911Ts and the GT3 RSs and the Targas and all these cars, they change the bumpers. They change every single one to look visually different. Yeah, people still say Porsches all look the same, which is really interesting to me, because quite literally, all the Corvettes now look the same. Like if I walked up to a Z06 and an E-Ray, I would struggle to tell the difference. I would. The only way I would know this is a pushrod V8 car with 495 horsepower and an electric motor versus a flat plane crank track car is if I walked and bent down and saw the badge underneath the side intakes, or where are the exhaust tips placed? In the center or on the sides? That's the only way I'd know whether a Z06 is a Z06 and an E-Ray is an E-Ray. Now when you throw in the ZR1, the only way you will know is if it's got the front hood. Because if you got the convertible ZR1, how would you know right? How would you know this is a ZR1? Oh, it's got that front S-duct design. Which is just, it's interesting to me. I want to get your thoughts. That's my biggest complaint with the car so far. I feel like they could have done something. Just change one more panel, one more piece on it, right? Give it a different front bumper, because not only was the C7 ZR1 limited to 1 year, well, it had a different front bumper. It had a completely different design on the front end. So it made it unique. You'd look at it and go, oh, that's a ZR1 instantly. If people in this day and age struggle to tell a car, different cars apart, different models apart with anything, how are they going to know your $300,000 Corvette is that crazy one-off Corvette hypercar versus a standard Z06 or a standard Stingray, right? These are all big thoughts that I want you to consider in this video. Why not change something else? Maybe add something more, do something wild, right? I have a few theories. I know when it comes to developing different front bumpers, it's very expensive. You have to pay for not only development costs, but the amount of money it costs to manufacture and get that completely integrated in your production line. You also have to look into all the regulations and getting your front bumper crash tested and safety tested and all the certifications that you need to comply. And that costs millions of dollars, quite literally. So what if Chevy's thinking, let's just save those costs. Throw on the same front bumper, the same side intakes, the same wide body kit, the same front fenders, the same intakes, the same rear bumper, the same standard wing, and let's just change some powertrain things here and there. That could have been their theory behind it. It would make them the most money, and these companies are all about making money, getting profit margins, right? They have investors, all these people behind them that want to make money. That could be it. Or they just thought this is the best design we can get, and there's no need to improve it because we think every one of these cars is distinguished enough. I'm a fan of cars looking different. If you look at a 600 long-tail McLaren versus a 570, they look different. If you look at a 765 LT versus a 720S or 750S, every one has different body panels. If you look at Porsches, they have different body panels. If you look at Mustangs, even the Dark Horse has some different front-end features than a standard Mustang GT or the GTD. We're starting to see this trend where cars physically or with the design aren't changing very much. Why not? Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think with being called a hypercar, you need to look the part of a hypercar? And to look the part of a hypercar, you can't look like anything else on the street at all. It's got to be undeniable. People have to see it and go, whoa, that's a Senna. That's a Project One. That's a Koenigsegg. Where people say, whoa, that's a one-off Corvette, or where they go, oh, it's a ZR1, it's a Z06. Is it a Z06? Oh, it's a ZR1. Or is that a ZR1? Oh, it's a ZR1X. It's a ZR1. Oh, it's a driving by. Oh, look, there's a ZR1 over there. Like, how would people know it's a ZR1X? Unless the car parks and you walk up to it and see the badge. What is that other distinguishing factor? Do you get it? Do you get it? I hope so. Because for a $300,000 Corvette, it's got to look crazy. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. And while you do that, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new video coming out the second I post them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.